Downtown.
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. So I don't know how full this is going to be. It could be a very full meeting, but I don't think it should be too long.
All we're doing is saying that it's a significant impact, so I don't know why anybody would get too bent out of shape.
I've learned gas stations are hot topics here.
Yeah, well, we like to have businesses that don't actually like do anything, but
Well, we'll find out.
yep.
Hey, Ed.
Hey guys.
Hey everyone.
Rachel, how are you?
How are you?
Good.
Good.
How's everything going?
Oh, it's going. I talked to Ed just like about an hour ago, and Henry was screaming all day, so hopefully he'll be quiet now. But it's a good thing I didn't say I would be going to the site walk since he was born at 6:03 that morning. So
Good timing.
yeah, good timing. So Dan, we're not putting on the two new applications, right? We're just setting those for site walks.
Yes, audio would help.
Oh, that's okay.
Rachel?
Hi, Kim.
Hi. We did receive the one for 27 Connecticut prior, so we did put it on just to set a site walk. And then the other one will, I'll just tag on to the site walk agenda, if that's okay with you.
Perfect, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Evan.
I think I finally got to join a meeting.
That's great. Let's see. Evan, we have Tom. I see Gary. I see Mike. Hi. Okay, so we definitely have a quorum for us.
Rachel, did Bob get on? He called me earlier. He was having difficulty.
I see a call-in user. Bob, are you on the call? Okay, maybe not.
The call in is Kim's audio.
Oh. Give him 2 more minutes and then we'll start promptly at 5:30.
What a bunch of happy faces.
All right. Well, I have 5:30. So, Kim, are you ready to start recording or whatever you need to do for these?
I'm all set.
Okay, perfect. And Dan, you're all set? Awesome. Okay. All right. So I'd like to call this special meeting of the Old Lyme Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Commission to order. Today is Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021. It's 5:30, and we are meeting via WebEx. Just for people that are on the call, the reason that this is a special meeting is solely because our commission is not supposed to have meetings in February, according to a schedule change that we approved last year, but we did have a lot of applications come to us. So in the interest of getting the applications going and getting site walks so we weren't bogged down in March, we're holding this meeting today. This is not a public hearing, it's just a special meeting. So if you are a member of the public and you are not a member of the Inland Wetlands Commission, I would ask that you mute yourself, so that way we don't have any feedback for our recordings. That being said, I do have a 3-week-old baby, so if he starts screaming, I might mute myself temporarily until we get a door closed or move him. All right, so let's get started. The first item that we have on our agenda is new business. This is for application 21-4 for Christopher Papadopoulos. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name. This is for 27 Connecticut Road for the construction of a deck on the rear existing shed with a new 10-by-20 shed. Is anybody here from that application?
There's not, Rachel. You guys actually been to this property 3 times in doing for Point of Woods. It's pretty straightforward. It's just expansion of a deck and then a potential replacement of a shed that he may do in a few years. But I figured it would be better to put it all in one application to save him the fee.
Sure. Okay. So I do recall going to that property, and we'll be sending a site walk for this. So I know that in an email was going back and forth between the members regarding our site walks going forward, because we are getting a little more daylight. I did see that a lot of people were flexible rather than doing Saturdays, keeping it on a weekday. Is there a specific time, Dan, do you know, for the applicant that works for him for us to be going to the property, or no?
I don't currently, but I think he can make himself available. If not, I'd be happy to explain the application for the commission.
Okay. Does anybody on the commission have a particular day or time that works better for them? Mike, I know you get tied up in court, so I want to be, you know, I want to recognize that for you.
As long as it's anytime at 5:30 or after, I'm fine any day of the week.
Okay. So we generally still have a little bit of sunlight at 5:30 down here at this probably in the next month. So does anybody have any objections to having 2 site walks on a weekday at 5:30?
I think daylight savings time kicks in before our next meeting, if that helps.
Oh, yeah. So my schedule is very open since I'm on maternity leave. So does anybody have a particular day or time that works for them? Okay.
Daylight saving March 14th.
March 14th. Okay.
Wait
Why
that
don't-
longer.
Our March meeting is when?
Can't do
The-
that.
23rd, I would think.
Yeah. Okay. So the 14th would work. What is that, Tom?
That's a Sunday.
Yes. So we could do, the Monday is the 15th, so the week of the 15th. Does
We do.
anybody have issues with that week for a site walk?
We shoot for
Monday works fine.
Wednesday works better for me if that is
Okay.
okay.
Wednesday? Gary and Mike, how is Wednesday, the 17th at 5:30?
That's
I'm
fine.
good.
Fine.
Okay,
Good.
perfect.
I'm good,
We'll-
Bob.
Oh, hi, Bob. Okay, perfect. So let's set the site walk for 27 Connecticut Road for March 17th at 5:30. And Kim will send out the itinerary and we'll get the applicants, aware that we'll be property at that time. And then Kim, I know for the second site walk that we're going to be doing, maybe we could do that for 5:45, I would think, or even 6 o'clock.
That's perfect. That's perfect. 5:45.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we'll set that down for the site walk, and everyone received the application for that, so we'll see you all there. So then, moving on to old business, the first item is the property located at 6 Jericho. Regarding the clearing that was done. Is Ken on the call?
Hi, Rachel. Ken's not on the call. He was a little confused as to what he needed to do prior to this meeting. I think he thought he was going to wait for the survey. So I know we want the survey as a component just to establish where the 100-foot setback review area is, rather. So I'll talk to him about getting moving on an application with a restoration plan for the hill.
Great. Sounds good.
Hey, Dan, it's Evan. Do you know whether the survey will include the boundary line between Ken's property and the land trust property?
Yeah, so it will include it will show the boundary line between the two properties. I don't believe the wetlands will be flagged, but I think it's pretty apparent where the wetlands are based on the slope of the hill into the bog.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Any other questions on that application or on that enforcement issue?
So are we tabling that to the next meeting?
I would say yes. Yeah. So we'll table that to the March meeting, which again is the 23rd of March, and that will be at our normal time and probably still on WebEx. All right, so then moving on to the second item of old business, this was application 20-26 for 99 Halls Road, the Big Y Foods, Tony Kokola, application for the construction of a new convenience mart with a retail motor vehicle fueling facility. A few things on this. There was a site walk that happened January 30th. As I've already said, I was unable to be there, so I cannot speak to the site walk because I delivered my firstborn at 6 o'clock that morning. I know that the site walk happened. I'm going to let the commission members speak about the site walk, and any agents of the who are on the call can unmute themselves to be able to answer the commissioner's questions. Again, the main purpose of a here is to determine if there's going to be a significant impact from the work done on this property according to the application. And at this time, again, not a public hearing. We are determining if this is going to be a public hearing or if there will be a public hearing. So members of the public, I would ask that you put yourselves on mute. I also do want to alert the commission members. You might have seen in your emails, we did receive correspondence on this application. One was a petition that was submitted. However, the petition didn't follow the rules of what in the petition. There were signatures, but we cannot verify whose signatures those are or whether they're residents of Old Lyme. And then we also received a petition and a motion to intervene in this application. And that was submitted by attorney Marjorie Chance, and just stating why she believed and her client believed that this was a significant impact that was going to happen from this application. So has everyone had a chance to view that communication?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, so is there an agent for this application that's available for questions?
Yep, this is Ryan Scrittoro with Alfred Benish and Company. We're hired by Big Y to present the application, so I'm here to answer any questions you guys may have. Address is 120 Hebron Avenue, Glastonbury, Connecticut.
Thank you, Ryan.
Hmm.
All right, commission members, feel free to start asking questions. I know that there might be a few.
Yeah, I had one question about the roadway, which seems to come close. There's a roadway coming, I thought, that goes out to Route 156, Neck Road, that, in my estimation, would impact the vernal pool. The report from the applicant stated that it was unclear whether, in fact, it was a vernal pool or not, maybe because of the time of year that it was investigated. But I frankly am concerned about having a paved roadway only several feet from the vernal pool.
Yeah, so I think what you're referring to is actually the vernal pool is actually, I believe, on the adjacent property, which is what came in front of you guys a while back. The residence that's to the north, I believe.
Yeah, it's on the corner of Neck Road and the bypass road. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so the area that our soil scientist flagged, he didn't feel was the actual vernal pool. He thought it was actually off our property to the north. He felt that at the time when he did the flagging that it was just a wetland on our site. I had him on for tonight, but knowing that potentially this could go to a public hearing, he's having trouble getting on to the WebEx right now. So I apologize that I can't have him to talk about when he flagged why he determined them to not be a vernal pool on our property. But I can definitely make sure he's available for the next round.
Okay, that's great. It really doesn't make much difference to this commission as far as I'm concerned that where the property boundary is. It's the proximity between the activity and the wetland and the vernal pool. In this case, the vernal pool.
Understood. Yeah, we're essentially, I think we're about 10 to 15 feet away from the actual wetland. There's like a little point that comes off of the wetland flagging that we had. And that's the closest vicinity that we're actually at. The rest of it, we're kind of only in the upland review area. And really the watershed that kind of contributed to that area, it hasn't really been affected for the most part. So the water that's contributing to the vernal pool isn't being really impacted. So disturbing up to kind of not so much into the wetlands. We were trying to avoid that as much as possible by pushing it to the south towards the property line as much as we could. That's how we kind of tried to avoid it. So, but I'll depending on how you guys wanted to go tonight, I was presuming that we were probably going to go to a significant activity and having a public hearing next round. So I was planning on giving a full presentation on how I would address the vernal pool and the wetland impacts to it, or lack thereof, and just the upland review area and how we were addressing it. So.
Thank you.
Any other members who were present at the site walk have any other questions for Ryan?
It probably makes sense to on a map kind of differentiate where the vernal pool is and where the wetlands are, because I think right now there's some confusion as to where one starts and one stops, because I think that's a little bit of an issue right now.
Right. Okay. Ryan, is that something that would be able to be addressed by the time of a public hearing?
I would presume so. I mean, it may have to be just because of the time of year that we may have to, rely a little bit on some of the older mapping of the vernal pool itself. But I'll have a chat with our wetlands agent and just see if, that is something that we could add to the map without much issue. And he did mention to me before the call that, some of the species would be a little bit harder to determine as to, what would be in that vernal pool just because of the time of year. So, but I'll have a chat with him, and I'll be in touch, I guess, with Dan before the public hearing to let him know kind of our findings and just kind of how to progress from there. So
Yeah.
if that works for everybody.
Just to clarify, it won't be really whether the determination of where the wetland is would be on a soil determination, not a species determination. So under Connecticut law, wetlands are defined by soil, not species.
Correct. It's just when it comes to the classification of a vernal pool, it comes down to how much water is actually staying. So that's a little bit different of a classification than just the soils. We flagged the soils for wetland classifications on our site.
Okay.
I think the question at hand is, where is the actual limit of a vernal pool, knowing that there was one adjacent to our parcel. I don't believe we had any evidence of it being on our parcel, a vernal pool.
Yeah.
But I can clarify that, and we'll make sure that our soil scientist is on at the public hearing to, make that statement on the record.
Ryan, can anyone hear me? This is Martin Broggie. I couldn't jump onto WebEx, but I may dial in.
So Martin is our soil scientist, so I apologize. I didn't know he was caller in user number 15. So
yeah, I just made it in. I apologize. Yeah, Martin Broggie here, the soil scientist of record for the site. The wetland isn't very big. And I didn't see the vernal pool. Again, the vernal pool is off-site on the neighbor's property. And the vernal pool, from what I could tell, from the edge of the property, is not very large, and it's somewhere between where the wetlands were delineated on our site and the barn on the adjacent property owner's property. So again, it might be worth, if we had permission from the adjacent property owner, to go over there and measure to see, how big it was and exactly where it was located.
What time of year did you look at the vernal pool, Martin?
I never looked at the vernal pool. I didn't go on to the property owner.
So we have no way of knowing whether there are obligate species that would define the vernal pool.
Actually, we do. There were two previous soil scientists that had worked for the adjacent property owner, and their reports are in the record. I refer to them in my report. One soil scientist identified fairy shrimp, and the other one identified spotted salamander, which are obligate species.
Right.
Neither one described, the abundance of species, number of egg masses, that sort of thing. No in-depth done. It was just a presence-absence sort of evaluation.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Sure, but I will say that based on the presumed size of the vernal pool and the known size of the adjacent wetlands and the known size of the upland area around that area, and then the surrounding development, I would suspect that it's not a terribly productive resource.
Okay. Does anybody else from the commission have any questions before I ask the important question of the night that's kind of been hinted at a few times? Okay, hearing none. So for the commission members, to set a public hearing, we have to find that there is the potential of a significant impact. And so based on the site walk and the application materials, the various correspondence we've received, including from Eric Davidson, Davison, regarding this application, how do the commission members feel about there being a significant impact on this application, or this application having a significant impact on the property and wetlands in the area?
Well, go ahead.
I would move based on the site walk, the report we received from Davison Environmental, and the statutory requirement that the activity may or is likely to produce pollution that would affect the water course, that there's the potential for significant impact, and that we should have a public hearing.
I agree with that.
As do I.
I do as well.
Same.
So do you need a motion, Rachel?
Yes, we can do a motion. So can I have a motion to hold a public hearing on this application, which I have to reopen because I just X'd out of the application number. But can I have a motion to hold a public hearing on this?
So moved.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mike. Okay, it seems like everyone's in favor, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So
Yes.
we have to set the public hearing. Dan and Kim, is there any particular day or time that works for you guys, especially since we're going to be doing this via web? I want to make sure that I'm not interfering with anything, because I know there are other commissions that have meetings and everything.
Were you looking to have this at the next regular rescheduled meeting, or?
We can, yes, because that's within the 65 days, if that makes it easier for everyone.
That would be March 23rd.
23rd, and just at our regular meeting time.
That would be 6 p.m.
Yeah. Perfect.
I mean, it's whatever's best for you and the commission. You know, if there's just want to hold it earlier, I'll certainly look at the dates that I have meetings, but you know, it's up to you guys. And if Kim can't make it, then I can share the recording with her another day.
I think having it at our regularly scheduled meeting time is perfect for everyone involved. The commission members know to be aware of it. The public will have ample time to gather their comments and prepare for the public hearing. Just a note to the public, this is the Inland Wetlands Commission. We don't consider matters of zoning or planning. So when you're coming to the public hearing, we listen to the impacts on the inland wetlands, and we do not consider traffic, zoning, planning, planning regulations, anything like that. So, all right, so then the public hearing will be March 23rd at 6 o'clock, and notice will be made according to the statutes. All right. Anybody on the commission have anything else to say on this before we move on to the next item of business?
No, I think we'll wait till the hearing.
Great. Okay. So then moving on to old business, application 21-1, the Point of Woods Association in South Lyme, maintenance and cleaning within the channel. Do I have anybody from that application present on the WebEx hearing today? I know that people have to unmute themselves, so I'm going to give a couple more seconds. All right, so seeing that nobody has come forward, I know that most of the commission members were present at the site walk for this application. Did anybody from the commission have any comments about it or things that they would like seen done for this particular application?
At the site walk, I asked them to better define what they were going to do because they didn't really have any plan as to how they were going to maintain or clean the channel. It was just, we want to make it drain, and there wasn't, they didn't stake it out, and it wasn't real well defined. So I think that was kind of what we were looking for from them.
Okay. Dan, have we heard anything from the applicant regarding Tom's questions?
We have not.
Okay.
It seems to me that if we want those, Tom, if you wanted to make a motion, you could make the staking and the whatever you're looking for, and I agree, it should be pretty well defined. That make that a stipulation of whatever motion you had in mind.
I don't really even know what, if we were going to approve it, I don't even know what we'd even really be approving at this point because they didn't really have much of a plan as to what was going to happen. But I can definitely, we can make it a stipulation in the future, but I don't know that I would even make a motion whether to, I don't think we have anything to really approve yet.
Maybe tabling it the next
Well, this is
meeting.
Gary. I'd just like to make a comment along Tom's direction. I think we do need a diagram with width, depth, and the course of this channel they're going to make, and what are they going to do with that material they remove.
That's a good point.
Yeah, good point, Gary.
So Dan, maybe you can reach out to the applicant this week and just let them know that what we're looking for, and tell them that we're tabling this to next month to hopefully get more of the questions answered before we grant an approval to an application.
Absolutely. We'll reach out this week and let them know.
Okay. Anybody else have anything that they would like answered for this particular application? All right. So then we'll just table this to the March meeting, and hopefully we'll have more answers by then. And we won't set another site walk at this time. All right. So moving on to the last item of old business, which is application 20.
Well, Rachel, just to point out, you guys will literally be there again for the 21-4.
That's true.
It's the house we're literally standing in their yard. So would it make sense if I can wrangle one of them out there and get that material to have them, make a presentation?
I think that would be great. Yeah, and then they could have staked out, like Tom was at, what we were really looking at.
Okay, yeah, and I think, yeah, so, and I took down was trying to take down what Gary said. So a map of the area that better defines where the channel would go, width and depth of channel, what they're doing with the soil, and then I would say how they're doing it with, excavator, that kind of thing.
Yeah, what kind of equipment?
Yeah, generally, Dan, the scope of the work that's going to be that they propose to carry out.
Okay, yeah, I'll see what they can produce. It almost seems like I got to have a conversation as to whether he may need to hire somebody to help him put this together.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, so moving on to the last item of old business, which is 21-2, Robert Kastner for 2 Bailey Road, the dismantling of an existing 24 by 38 foot barn and the construction of a new concrete foundation. Is anybody from the application on this WebEx hearing? Just remember, you might need to unmute yourself if you are. All right, so seeing no one, did anybody have any questions from the site walk, which happened on January 30th?
seemed pretty straightforward for when we were there.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Did anybody have any changes or conditions that they wanted made before granting the application?
I think at the site walk, we talked about um, uh, being very careful about where the silt fencing was placed and as much as possible. I know you've got to get an excavator in there if you're going to pour a concrete foundation and footings and, you know, foundation wall. But I think that if that there was sufficient room to have a good barrier and maybe having a silt fence and some hay bales as backup would be, because if you remember, the barn foundation is very close to the water course that flows through there.
If we're gonna have them do hay bales, I'd probably only require them along that edge. Would that be the south side where it's right along the edge of it? Because
Yeah, right.
flat. If that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Did we want to request a buffer along that water course?
I think we talked about it. I talked with the owner about not mowing right up to the water course, just so that whatever could be flowing from the barn or the surrounding lawn would be captured by a buffer. You know, something as simple as high grass, which could be maintained, you know, once a year, once every 2 years, something like that.
Okay. So then to put those, does anybody want to make a motion with all those conditions present to approve this application?
Yeah, I'll make
Hey,
a
guys.
motion. Yep.
Hey, guys, I'm sorry. This is Rick from Point of Woods. I just got on. I got in late. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, okay. We'll come back to you. We're
Okay.
on number 5
Absolutely.
of the special agenda. So we'll come back to you right after that.
No problem. No problem at all.
Great. Okay, so
Thank
sorry, Evan, can you continue with making your motion?
Yeah, I move that we approve the application with the stipulation that a protection in the form of a silt fence and hay bales along the edge of the little brook that flows by the barn be placed there, and that a vegetated buffer at least 10 feet wide should be maintained to protect the stream.
10
I'll
feet
second
wide or
that.
10 feet long?
Pardon?
10 feet wide, there was a very narrow area between the edge of the barn and the water course. I think 10 feet would be running right up to the barn.
Well, that's pretty much what I had in mind.
The tough thing with that is then you end up with bittersweet and stuff growing up the side of the barn.
Not if you mow it once a year.
Okay.
I think 10 feet might be a little onerous on the homeowner. There's a length that should be covered, but 10 feet would bring it right up to the edge of the barn.
Yeah, I agree. I think a 3 to 4 foot buffer would be more than adequate.
I mean, it's such a narrow spot right there. I don't know how much runoff you're going to get through that little spot, and that whole lot is so flat. It doesn't drain particularly to that, or it doesn't concentrate to that side.
No, I think just in general. Go ahead.
I think Evan's concern was when they did mow the yard, the clippings would go. That's what I interpreted from that.
Well, in general, I favor as much buffer as we can require, no matter what and obviously with the greater slope, the greater the buffer should be. And you're right, it's pretty flat there. And I'm not sure how much activity is going to go on between the barn and the. So if people feel that it's that a 5-foot buffer would be fine, and leaving a 5-foot path along the edge of the foundation is sufficient, then I'm agreeable with that.
I think
If you want to amend the motion.
I think at least let him get a mower along the edge of the barn, just so he can at least keep it dry so that it doesn't rot up against it, and he can at least keep vines and stuff growing in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe a 5-foot buffer, that seems to be, I think that would be enough for a mower, or the, regular residential mower to get by.
Yeah. Well, 5 feet's pretty good. That's a pretty good sized brush hog. So that works fine for me.
Okay. Kim, do you have the terms of that motion down with the most recent edit?
Yes, we don't have a second.
So can I have a second for that motion?
I'll second that.
Great, thank you. All those in
Is that
favor?
Mike? Who was that?
That was Gary.
Bob, I think.
Oh, that was Bob.
Gary.
Okay.
No, it
Was
was
Bob or
Gary.
Gary? Sorry, Gary. Sorry, Bob.
It was Gary. I don't
Thanks,
know
Tom.
who else may have.
Let's put down Gary, and then all those in favor. I'm in favor, and then we're looking for Bob and Mike and Tom.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So it passed unanimously with the conditions. So Dan, if you could let the applicant know. All right. Okay, so let's start. Oh yes, Kim.
Just before you go back to Point of Woods, I pulled out their application.
Sure.
Is that where you're going next? Before I interrupt. Okay. It says the association seeks permission to clean approximately 800 feet of the seasonal channel. The 800 feet would be measured from the waterway's intersection with the 3 Mile River going upstream. The cleaning, which would be 8 to 10 feet wide, 1 foot down using a mini excavator. So, and the work would last 3 days, only because we asked a few of those questions and it is in the application. So I just wanted to go back and answer those couple of questions.
Great, thank you, Kim. Okay, so Rick, we're going to circle back to you, so feel free to unmute yourself. So going back to, it's under old business, item 4, which is application 21-1, Point of Woods Association in South Lyme for the maintenance and cleaning within the channel. Rick, when you were off the call, Tom had a few questions that he posed at the site walk, and we were just discussing how we would get answers to those, but it seems like those were actually in the application. Can you just expound on, the equipment that you're going to use and the dimensions changed at all since the application that you made?
No, it hasn't. We were planning on using Al's. I wanted to bring a small excavator in there to try to do the least amount of damage at all. Come in through the property, turn it, and then work, go forward and just work our way back. It was, that's pretty much Al's plan.
Okay.
And what about the Gary's concern about what's going to happen with the material? How will you deal with the material that's removed from the stream bed?
Well, Al and I discussed that. I presume he was saying that we're going to put it in a dumpster and get rid of it.
if somebody's growing a garden, it might be pretty good stuff to put in the garden.
Yeah, it's
Or it doesn't grow so well.
yeah, I wouldn't think so. Stuff you don't want anyways.
I guess the answer to the question is that you're going to dispose of it off-site.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be right to dump it, to the side. I don't think that would be the right thing to do. It's going to biodegrade or whatever, but still, we need to get it out of there. So I asked Al, I said, would it be all right if we can just get one of your dumpsters and just, I don't think we're going to pull that much material out of there, but, just bring one dumpster down there. We're just trying to channel it a little bit, get it going downhill. And he said, yeah, that's no problem.
800 feet? Kim
What's
just said,
that?
you said it was 800 feet of channel that we were trying to deal with?
Yeah, but we're hoping to just skim. You know what I mean? We're hoping just to skim, just to get it opened up a little bit. We're not we're not going to dig deep or anything. We just want to kind of skim it, and and it's not that wide.
it's at
We're trying
800 feet of the seasonal channel.
Yes, 800 feet of the seasonal channel. I'm sorry, I can't hear you that well.
8 to 10 feet wide, Tom. 1 foot down.
Approximates, yeah. No more. It won't exceed that. That's for sure.
I'm just doing a little bit of math, and it works out to a lot more than a dumpster load. And I'm just curious.
Well,
I don't know how you.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing you are, Tom.
I don't know how you get it from the dumpster.
He's got plenty of dumpsters. He said no problem with the dumpsters. I said okay. So he's got plenty of
I don't know. How are you going to get it if it's 800 feet? How are you going to go from the excavator to in the dumpster? I guess would be.
I don't know. I don't know what he's got planned. Maybe making piles somewhere, or on the edge, and then coming back on the property side and picking them up. Maybe I'm not sure how he was doing that.
Okay, if you could maybe flag out where this channel is going to be, or even if it's on a map, or.
Okay.
Right now, I don't think we have a great idea of where the 800 feet is and how you're going to do that.
Yeah, I wonder if I'm not too good with it, but can I get an aerial of it of some sort so I can mark it out? Is there a way to do that online? For me to get a picture?
Yeah, you can use the GIS, and I'd be happy to assist you if you want to come into town hall one day with that.
Yeah, that'd be great, because then I could really show you exactly where to where and go from there. Definitely much clearer.
Yeah, and I guess I just had one thought, Tom. What was the number you were getting? Because I thought I got like a little less than 240 yards.
God, if it was by 8 feet by a foot deep, that was 240 yards.
400, and then divided by 27.
Yep.
Yeah, at 10 foot wide, I got 300 yards.
240 yards is like 12 dump trucks if they're really full. So just to keep that in mind.
Yep.
It's not like a dumpster.
Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what I'll do? I'm gonna get together with Al. We're gonna have to really nail this down, which is fine. Al was extremely busy the 2 times I was bothering him about it, so I don't mind. I'll get him together, and when weather's getting better, we can go out there and really just write down a whole plan for you. It would probably be the best way to do it.
We have another site walk on the 17th, so
okay.
Even if you guys want to stake it out, just put in some stakes with some flagging on it to lay out where this is going to go. That would probably be helpful.
Perfect. I'm writing it down now. I will have that all done. Exactly. And I'll do it with him. This way here, any questions, we can get him to answer them.
Great. So then, Kim, if we could add that to the site walk agenda, and since we gave a half hour between 27 Connecticut Road and the Sandpiper property, I think that would fit in nicely for about a 5:45 meeting. Maybe a few minutes before, since we're going to be right next door.
I don't think the Sandpiper is going to take very long, or that other Connecticut Avenue one. I don't think that's going to take very long either. So
no.
Yeah.
No. So do you want me to let the homeowner know at 7 Sandpiper? I believe he's on, actually. It'll be 5:45 to 6 o'clock on the 17th that we'll be down there.
This is Chris Marchand. I'm here.
Hey, Chris.
So yeah, so we'll probably be at Sandpiper by 6 o'clock, but then the two properties at Point of Woods, that'll give us time to, see the 800 feet and then still get across town, in plenty of time to meet at Sandpiper for 6 o'clock.
What day was that again?
March 17th. That's a Wednesday.
That's fine with me. Yep.
Great. Okay. So then, seeing no further old business, we'll move on to the minutes. So the first minutes we need to approve are the regular meeting minutes of January 26th, 2021. Did anybody have any changes to those minutes? Okay, seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of January 26th?
Make a motion to approve.
Can I have a second?
A second.
Okay, thanks, Mike. All right, and then all those in favor, aye. And then Bob, Gary, Evan, are you all okay?
Aye.
Perfect. Okay.
All right.
Perfect. And so then the sidewalk meeting minutes for January 30th, 2021, I'm going to abstain. I'm not present. So can I have a, did anybody have changes first of all?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, and a second?
Second.
Great, thanks, Mike. And then anybody else who was there, feel free to vote in favor or not. I'm not going to say which way you're voting.
Aye.
Okay. All right, so those meeting minutes are also approved. All right, so then nothing else on the special meeting agenda. I just want to say thank you everyone for being here tonight. Commission members, I'll see you all March 17th at 5 for the site walks. And then we'll be back here for a regular meeting, a public hearing for March 23rd, also to be held on WebEx. So, and does anybody else have anything to add before I ask for a motion to end this meeting?
I just want to say thank you guys for taking the time.
No problem. All right.
And we'll see you then.
See you then. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Bob. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thanks, Tom. All right, thank you, everyone. I'm just assuming everyone is voting in approval of leaving. Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.